Hi, I'm John Liette from MindStream Analytics, back with another snippet of information to help you get the most out of Oracle's Planning and Budgeting Cloud Service product. In this video, I'm going to be talking about PBCS's built-in copy version functionality that can be used to easily move data from one version to another for archiving, drafting, reforecasting, or any other reason. But first, let's take a look at an example of a situation that would lead us to need to copy data from one version to another. So to do that, we're going to look in Excel at a simple retrieval that I've built where I have a summarized amount here for net income for a total year and the forecast scenario and the base version. Now, let's say that I want to mid-year reforecast my data. So I want to start with what I've already got in my base, and I want to copy that data over to draft one, and then I can tweak it, make changes based on real things that have happened in the market or generally in the real world since we actually forecasted things. Perhaps it was 6 months ago or something. So to do that, we could do this with a business rule, a script. We could calculate a copy command to move data from one to the other. But Oracle has made it really easy for us to move from one version to another with a feature called copy version that we can find within the menus of the application. So I'm going to go back to my browser. Now, a note here that copy versions is found under actions as one of the options here. Your layout may look a little different depending on your application, particularly if it was something that was custom built. But also, as of December 2021, my understanding is that copy versions will only be available to service administrators. So if you are not a service administrator in your environment, you may need to find whoever your service administrator is to get help with the next few steps. So I'm going to click on copy versions, and it's going to take us through a really intuitive interface here in order to perform this task. So first, we're going to start at the top by selecting the scenario that we want to copy. As mentioned, we're looking at the forecast scenario, so I'll just find that in my list and select it. And then we're going to pick which version we're going to copy from. So which one is our source? In this case, that's going to be our base version. And then which version we are going to copy to, which one is the target. In this case, I'm going to copy my data to draft one. So when I select that, I need to make sure I click somewhere in the white space to get rid of that tooltip. So I can click this arrow to apply these selections. That hasn't copied the data yet. That's just moved us into this next area where we will select which entities or subsidiaries we want to copy as part of this process. And for most cases, it's probably going to be all of them, but the tool does give you the ability to pick one or two or three or however many as a subset of the total, just in case your new version is only for one subsidiary or two subsidiaries or what have you. Now, we also have options of whether or not we want to copy over comments, attachments, and supporting details. I believe MindStream has other snippets that can talk you through the details of each of these, but basically they are cell-related items that we can record to provide context or more detail to the numbers within PBCS. In this case, I'm just going to leave them off. I don't think our sample data set has any anyway. If you're not sure whether you do or don't, it's always pretty safe to just select them all and bring them over unless you have a particular reason not to. So now I'll copy the data and let this run. It's going to give me one more final warning. Do you really want to do this? Yes, I do. So I'll click OK. And so while this is running, in this case, it will only take a few moments, but depending on your environment, may take several minutes. All just depends on how much data is in your environment, how much metadata you have, or do you have 1,000 customers that it has to go and read and copy data for, or what have you. In this case, pretty quick. It's done already. We get the message that it's done successfully. But again, for you, if it takes a little longer, that's probably okay. It's probably just a sign that your application is more complex than this demo environment. So now that it's done, I can go back to Smart View, click refresh, and I'll see the data. Not quite. We've got one more step. The copy versions functionality basically copies the data over at the level 0 level. So any aggregation needs to be ran as part of an ag rule in order to have this screen match. So luckily I can do that in my case right from here. I can go to calculate, business rules. Most PBCS implementations should leave you with some sort of aggregation rule to run on an ad hoc basis, even if you're a power user or something like that. In my case, I've got a rule called ag select that allows me to input which year forecast scenario, or sorry, which year, which scenario, and which versions I'm going to aggregate. In this case, I'm aggregating FY18, my forecast scenario, and my draft version. That's the one that is my target that's missing. So I'll launch that. And again, this is another process that for me will only take a few seconds to run. But for you, if you've got a really dense environment with a lot of members, a lot of data, may take a little longer. So we'll let this run. And when it's completed, which it is now, we'll click OK, and click close. And now when we refresh, we'll see that our data matches at the net income level. And I can also zoom in to all levels and confirm that my numbers match at every account level here. So what I've done is I've copied my data from the base version into the draft 1 version using Oracle's built-in copy version functionality to achieve that. So now the next steps would be for me to go in and focus on the draft 1 version and drill into my level 0 data if I need to tweak what I'm forecasting for specific periods, specific accounts, and so forth. And so that's it. For more information on this or any other topic relating to EPM or business intelligence solutions, please reach out to MindStream Analytics via our website or any of our social media platforms. And thanks for watching.